Alright guys, problems 4 and 5, let's kind of just see how far we can get without using the calculator, okay? So, when you look at this equation, g of x equals negative 1/4 x plus 5, what kind of equation is this?
Linear.
Okay, automatically we know this is linear. Now, have I already given you guys an equation for linear functions? Just like a generic formula. What is that formula? Do you guys remember it? I hear someone. What is it? Alright, so the formula is y equals mx plus b. The m stands for what? Slope. And the b stands for what?
Y-intercept.
The y-intercept, okay? So the nice thing is this equation is in that form, so let's see if that gives us any information we need. But let's go through all of these. It says, which of the following characteristics are of the given function, right? Circle all that apply. So the domain, is the domain for a linear function negative infinity all the way up to positive infinity? Yeah, so this one's good, okay? Now, what about the range, though? This says the y goes from 0 to positive 5. What do we know the range should be? It should be all real numbers. They're telling you, well, g of x stands for what? F of x. Well, g of x is another way to say f of x. It's just another function, right? But it stands for y. So they're telling you that the range is from 0 to 5. Is that true for linear functions? No. So we know this is not a good choice, okay? Now, it's telling me the y-intercept is 0, 5. Do you guys think it is? Do I even need a calculator to look at that? No, right? I can look at the equation. We know that b is my y-intercept, and so this is a good choice, right? My y-intercept is that. Now, it's saying my slope is negative 1/4. You guys agree with that? Yeah, in front of the x, I've got negative 1/4. That's my slope, so that is true. Now, do you guys think that this function is increasing, or do you think it's decreasing? Decreasing because of what? Or okay, do you guys remember us doing the shark thing, right? And if I have a negative slope, if the line is decreasing, I have a negative slope, okay? If you're not sure and you don't remember, graph it. You guys have the calculator. It's not a big deal, okay? So we know it's not increasing. We know it is decreasing. So these are your choices for that, okay? Now, problem number 5. We have to be kind of careful, so let's read it. It says, which of the following are not characteristics of the given function? Circle all that apply. So, when you look at this, I like that. We're already analyzed it. It's a quadratic function. It's a quadratic function. In this quadratic function, what do we know about the domain of a quadratic function? It's what? All real numbers, right? We already talked about domain of a quadratic function, all real numbers, right? It's very similar to a linear and to an exponential. So, all real numbers, that's true, so I don't really want that one yet. I don't want to circle it. I just want to check it. I know it's true. Now, am I going to be able to tell if this is increasing? Is it? I think what they meant here is they said increasing maybe only, or decreasing only. So do we know, do quadratic functions only increase and only decrease? No. They do both, right? So right now I know that this is not a characteristic, right? If I say only, then increasing and decreasing is not. But it does do both, so I know it does that. Now, can I tell absolute minimum or maximum right now, or should I graph it? You can actually tell, but I want us to graph it, okay? We are going to learn that, later when we get there, okay? So let's go in here and graph it. We're going to go to y equals, clear out any other equations we have. We have 2x squared minus 3, and then we'll graph it. And so this equation does what? Has a what? Minimum or maximum? Sorry, you guys can't see it. Has an absolute minimum, right? So we know that E is not true and F is, right? So our answers for this is B, C, and E. Okay? These are not characteristics of this quadratic function. Okay?